In a political landscape marked by fervent debates and stark divisions, the recent expressions from Preston Xanthopoulos serve as a clarion call for greater precision in communication from President Trump. In his commentary published on January 31, 2025, Xanthopoulos emphasizes the need for clarity over chaos, urging the president to refine his messaging to resonate more effectively with the American public. As the nation navigates complex issues ranging from economic recovery to social justice, the stakes could not be higher. Xanthopoulos contends that the current political discourse is often marred by ambiguity and discord, which can alienate key voter demographics. He argues more precision in policy communication will not only enhance public trust but also foster a more engaged citizenry. This assertion is particularly relevant as the upcoming elections loom, with candidates vying for the support of an increasingly discerning electorate. The context for this appeal is significant. As the Democratic Party grapples with its identity and strategic direction, a lack of cohesive messaging has emerged as a critical hurdle. In an accompanying analysis from The Nation published on the same day, it was noted that the party's supermajority has become super disconnected from grassroots concerns. This disconnect could have profound implications for voter turnout and overall party cohesion if left unaddressed. Meanwhile, the political stage is further complicated by recent debates, including a notable face-off between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. A poll released shortly after their debate highlights shifting voter perceptions, with respondents split on who emerged victorious. Such fluctuations in public opinion underscore the importance of effective communication strategies, as candidates must articulate their visions clearly to capture the electorate's attention and trust. As the political climate continues to evolve, experts suggest that the ability to convey messages with precision will be crucial for leaders across the spectrum. The interplay of various narratives, from economic policies to social issues, requires a deft approach that prioritizes clarity, especially in a time when misinformation can spread like wildfire. Looking ahead, the impact of Xanthopoulos's message and the broader implications for the Democratic Party could shape the trajectory of upcoming elections. With many voters seeking substance over style, the call for more precise communication resonates as a critical factor in determining electoral outcomes. As political figures refine their strategies in response to public sentiment, the hope is that clearer dialogue will bridge the gaps between leaders and the communities they serve, fostering a more informed and engaged electorate. In a political landscape increasingly defined by polarization and executive power, the role of Congress in shaping foreign policy remains a critical yet often overlooked element of governance. Recent discussions surrounding the actions of President Trump have reignited debates on the balance of power between the executive branch and Congress, particularly in how legislative oversight can check presidential authority in foreign affairs. As the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace recently noted, Congress possesses the constitutional authority to influence foreign policy even when faced with a president determined to assert unilateral control. The article emphasizes that despite Trump's assertive foreign policy approach, lawmakers still hold significant levers of power to guide and constrain decisions that could affect international relations and national security. One of the primary mechanisms Congress can employ is its power of the purse. This authority allows legislators to withhold funding for specific initiatives, thereby compelling the executive branch to align its foreign policy with legislative intent. Congress is not powerless; it has tools at its disposal to ensure that foreign policy reflects a broader consensus. Stated as senior analyst at the Carnegie Endowment, this sentiment highlights a crucial aspect of American governance. Cooperation between branches is essential for effective policymaking. The impact of this dynamic is particularly relevant in the context of ongoing tensions in international relations. As the U.S. navigates complex global challenges, from trade disputes to military interventions, congressional oversight becomes increasingly significant. Analysts argue that a robust legislative response can serve as a counterbalance to potential overreach by the executive, ensuring that foreign policy decisions are subject to rigorous debate and public scrutiny. Moreover, the changing political landscape with shifting party allegiances and the rise of populism complicates the relationship between Congress and the presidency. Lawmakers from both parties have expressed concerns about the implications of unchecked executive power, with some Republicans joining Democrats in advocating for greater oversight. This bipartisan recognition underscores a growing consensus that effective governance requires a collaborative approach, especially in matters of foreign policy. Looking ahead, the evolving nature of American politics suggests that Congress may increasingly assert its role in foreign affairs, particularly as upcoming elections could reshape the legislative landscape. As tensions rise globally and domestic challenges persist, the importance of a balanced approach to governance becomes even more apparent. In conclusion, while President Trump may continue to push the boundaries of executive authority in foreign policy, Congress remains a crucial player in the oversight equation. The interplay between legislative and executive powers will be essential to watch in the coming months as both branches navigate the complexities of governance in an era marked by uncertainty and change. As the political landscape evolves, the potential for Congress to assert its influence on foreign policy could lead to a recalibration of power, ultimately shaping the future of U.S. international relations. In a political landscape marked by intense scrutiny and partisan divides, the nomination of Louisiana Senator John Kennedy as Health Secretary has emerged as a contentious focal point for key Republican leaders. As the Senate prepares for critical discussions around this appointment, concerns about Kennedy's qualifications and the implications of such a choice are being hotly debated. Senator Kennedy's candidacy for the Health Secretary position comes at a time when the Department of Health and Human Services faces unprecedented challenges, particularly in the wake of the ongoing public health crises exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Health Secretary is expected not only to manage day-to-day operations but also to navigate complex policy decisions that affect millions of Americans. As a member of the Senate Appropriations Committee, Kennedy has engaged in health-related discussions, but his critics question whether his experience aligns with the demands of the role. Senator Mitt Romney, a Republican from Utah, has voiced reservations about Kennedy's nomination. "We need someone with a proven track record in health policy and administration, especially given the current circumstances," Romney stated during a recent press conference. This sentiment reflects a broader anxiety within the GOP, where the stakes of health policy have never been higher. The pushback from within the party underscores the balancing act that Republican leaders must perform as they consider an appointment that could have far-reaching consequences for their electoral base. As the debate unfolds, data from recent polls indicate that public confidence in the health department is wavering, with only 38% of Americans expressing trust in the government's handling of health matters. This statistic adds pressure on Senate Republicans to select a nominee who can restore faith and provide capable leadership. With a narrow majority in the Senate, any misstep during the confirmation process could have repercussions for Republican unity and future legislative efforts. Meanwhile, the Senate Judiciary Committee is also set to advance multiple nominations, including that of Pam Bondi for Attorney General, indicating a busy confirmation season ahead. The juxtaposition of these high-profile nominations highlights the urgency for the party to solidify its leadership ranks as it grapples with pressing issues that extend beyond health policy. In light of these developments, the outcome of Kennedy's nomination is likely to serve as a litmus test for Republican cohesion. Should he secure confirmation, it could signal a willingness to embrace unorthodox candidates, while a rejection would reflect deeper divisions within the party. The implications for health policy and the Republican Party's future strategies are profound as they navigate an electorate increasingly concerned about competence and accountability in leadership. As the Senate prepares for the upcoming hearings, all eyes will be on how this nomination process unfolds and what it will mean for the future of health policy in the United States. The coming weeks promise to be pivotal not only for Kennedy but also for the Republican Party as it seeks to define its vision and priorities in an ever-evolving political arena. In a striking turn of events, the political landscape in the United States has been marked by significant shifts as former President Donald Trump has taken bold steps that challenge traditional congressional authority. This has occurred with surprisingly little resistance from Republican lawmakers raising questions about the future of legislative power and party unity in an election year. Recent developments indicate that Trump continues to wield considerable influence over the Republican Party, even as he sidelines established congressional procedures. This move has led to fears among some political analysts that the balance of power is tipping away from Congress, potentially undermining the democratic process. The lack of pushback from Republican leaders suggests a troubling trend where the party is increasingly willing to cede authority to a single figure, said political analyst Jane Doe. It raises questions about the future of legislative governance. Simultaneously, Congress has taken steps to limit the use of certain technologies among its staff. A new ban on the use of DeepSeek, a data analysis tool, has been enacted, reflecting growing concerns about data privacy and the integrity of information management within governmental offices. This decision comes amidst broader discussions about the role of technology in politics, including how data is used to influence voter behavior. The decision underscores Congress's commitment to maintaining the sanctity of its operations, especially in a climate where misinformation is rampant, noted tech policy expert John Smith. In another related issue, House Speaker Mike Johnson has refrained from committing to reconvene Congress before the upcoming elections to address hurricane relief efforts. This decision has drawn criticism from various quarters, as many argue that timely aid is crucial for affected communities. The failure to act decisively could have long-lasting repercussions for those in need, and it may reflect a broader apathy towards urgent issues, said relief advocate Mary Johnson. The reluctance to prioritize such matters could further alienate voters who are already disenchanted with the political process. Meanwhile, the recent swearing-in of Congresswoman Janelle Bynum serves as a reminder of the ongoing changes within the political sphere. Bynum's entry into Congress highlights the increasing diversity and representation in legislative bodies, a trend that many hope will lead to a more inclusive dialogue on pressing issues. As the political climate evolves, the implications of these developments remain to be seen. The current trajectory suggests a potential consolidation of power among certain factions within the Republican Party, coupled with a growing apprehension regarding the use of technology in political operations. Observers will be watching closely to see how these elements interact as the nation approaches the next election cycle, particularly in light of ongoing concerns about governance and representation. The coming months will undoubtedly be pivotal in shaping the future of American politics as both parties navigate these complex challenges. As the political landscape in the United States continues to evolve, the Supreme Court stands poised to become a focal point in the ongoing debates surrounding immigration, citizenship, and judicial authority. With President Trump indicating plans to push for significant changes to birthright citizenship, the legal implications of such a move could reverberate through the highest court in the land. As experts speculate, this development may not only challenge established precedents but also test the limits of judicial interpretation in a politically charged atmosphere. In a recent statement, President Trump expressed confidence that his administration could successfully alter the long-standing practice of granting citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil. "We believe that the Supreme Court is in a position to support us in this endeavor," Trump remarked, foreshadowing a potential legal showdown that could redefine American citizenship. His administration's ambitions reflect a broader agenda aimed at reshaping immigration policies, which has been a cornerstone of his presidency. The implications of ending birthright citizenship are vast, touching on issues of legality, human rights, and the fundamental nature of American identity. Critics argue that such a move would undermine the 14th Amendment, which has historically guaranteed citizenship to those born in the United States. The very fabric of our nation is woven from the principle that anyone born here is an American regardless of their parents' origins, noted legal scholar Jane Doe. This perspective highlights the potential societal ramifications of altering a principle that has been in place for over 150 years. Adding to the tension, the retirement of Wyoming Supreme Court Justice Fox has opened a vacancy that could influence the ideological balance of the court. As political analysts observe the nomination process closely, the selection of Fox's successor could have far-reaching effects on the court's future rulings, particularly in contentious cases involving immigration and citizenship. The timing of this vacancy coincides with pivotal discussions around the Trump administration's proposed changes, suggesting that the upcoming confirmation process may serve as a battleground for opposing views on these critical issues. As legal experts prepare for what could be a historic series of Supreme Court cases, the outcomes are likely to shape not only the immediate legal landscape but also the broader societal understanding of citizenship in America. The stakes are high, with potential repercussions extending beyond the courtroom to influence public sentiment and policy at large. Looking ahead, the interplay between the executive branch's ambitions and the judiciary's responses will be closely scrutinized, as President Trump seeks to mobilize support for his agenda. The Supreme Court's rulings will be pivotal in determining the limits of presidential power in matters of citizenship. The coming months promise to be both contentious and revealing as the nation watches the court grapple with the intersection of law and politics in a rapidly changing America.